Crates Talk podcast. You're tuned in right now. Big news in this episode. A couple announcements that'll be coming up. Thank you. I'm saying everybody that's been tuning in. The response to these podcasts have been pretty cool. Actually, a lot of people have been checking out the website, checking out a lot of the videos on YouTube. Just in the past week alone, I had 5,000 views on YouTube. This time last year, I only had 5,000 views, period. So I'm really thankful. I feel blessed. This YouTube platform and these free podcasts have been a really cool outlet for me to talk about the music. I want to shout out H88 from the Sound Gallery. It was kind of his idea for me to do these Crates Talk episodes. Told me to keep them to about 20 minutes, short and sweet. So I want to kick things off as quickly as I can. This episode is about Rawlife Records artist Gina Zo. She was signed last year, fresh off The Voice. She was on Team Blake and was tutored by Gwen Stefani, which is pretty amazing as a young singer to have those kind of range of influences on your art. She came back to the Philadelphia area and was immediately signed by Dice Raw of The Roots and DJ Circuit Breaker. Her and I literally started recording, I think it was 2 or 3 days after we met. And this first song right here that we're going to kick it off with, called Lost, was the first song we recorded, the first single, the first video. And it's split in 2 songs, actually, the intro and then the actual song, which is kind of like a producer trick of mine. I always like to kick off an album real epic, especially if it's the first album for the artist. So anyway, you're tuned in. Crates Talk podcast, Gina Zo, My Weakness album episode. Album is online now, all outlets. It's also available streaming. I'm really excited to present this music to y'all. This is the first song, called Lost, produced by me, Digital Crates. You can check me out online at Digital Crates.
Calling me sweetly. You're pulling me down. You dream of me in the nighttime. You want me to be around. This oxygen is foolproof.
Save you from yourself.
You're tuned into the Crates Talk podcast. I want to thank everybody that's been tuning in the last few weeks. The audience seems to keep growing, which is pretty cool. I've been getting thousands of views lately, which is amazing considering I only had a few thousand views last year. So I want to thank y'all again for tuning in. It's been an incredible journey this past year, putting a lot of music out through Rawlife Records that I produced for a range of artists. Really started with Gina Zo. She was the first artist last year that was signed. We started working immediately on her record, and because it's more alternative rock, acoustic folk, it took longer. Everything was recorded live instruments. She played almost everything: guitar, bass, piano, percussion, background vocals. She brought in musicians from her band. We brought in musicians from the Roots crew. I brought in some friends to kind of help A&R and work on the record, co-produce some things. Brought in some family, just everybody that was around to really influence this record to be the best it could. She was performing the songs throughout the year and testing them. And this was the second song we recorded, a song called Chemical. It's really cool. It's a love song, but it's kind of hip and it's swaggy and it's a metaphor, and you can kind of look at it for what it is. It's a fun song, but there's a kind of a deep message and some intricacy to it. So if you pay attention to the songwriting, you'll see that even though she's young, she's on a journey. And I can tell you that the new records we're working on are even better. But right now, this is the Crates Talk podcast. You're tuned into the Gina Zo episode for her first album, My Weakness. This is Chemical. So the first couple songs that Gina recorded were completely of her own, volunteering. She brought Lost and Chemical to me and said, these are songs I want to work on, I want to develop. I need help with the production and a little bit with the songwriting. And I felt like we had developed, enough of a rapport professionally that I could present her something fun and out the box. So the next track we worked on is a song called Fantasy. I composed the music. I had the entire track composed, arranged. Everything was ready to go for her and her band. All it needed was the lyrics and melody. I didn't really have to give her any coaching. She heard the music and literally, I think it was within a minute or two, had scribbled a few things down, left what she scribbled in the control room and just went in the booth and started singing. So it was kind of like half written, half freestyle. We refined the song over time. We re-recorded the vocals. Nothing was rushed, even though it was freestyled originally. She went in to refine the lyrics, the melodies, the harmonies, and it's, clearly a great show song. It's a waltz. It's in 3/4, and it's just one of those tunes that people really love. It's easy breezy, easy going. It has that classic Philadelphia soul sound. Working and producing records for Rawlife, it's essential for me as a producer to have that organic Philly sound for every artist, even though they're in different genres. This being more alternative rock, folk. Some of our artists are, hip hop, R&B, gospel, straight rock. It doesn't really matter. The music has always got to be soulful and have a Philly sound. That's the bottom line. So this song really is one of the few that has that definitive Philly sound that I've learned along the way. So it's one of my favorites on the album. It's called Fantasy. We're going to follow it up with a snippet of a song called Gypsy Sounds, which is really like an indication of where Gina's going with her music, and her Philly soul is spread out. She's from outside of the city, and she was influenced by soul records that were from here, but was a little bit further from the streets of the city, so she kind of makes music that's bigger and wider range, more for festivals and for rock fans, and just really exciting to put these kind of sounds together. So here back to back is Fantasy and Gypsy Sounds by Gina Zo, Rawlife Records. This is the Crate Stock Podcast.
Crashing my shore. You make me feel like Sunday is every day and more. What am I to you? What are you to me? Are we in love, or is this just my fantasy? I know
thank you for tuning in to the Crates Talk podcast. We're just coming back from playing a couple songs. I'm going to recap it all together. We played the first song, Lost, played Chemical, we played Fantasy, then we played Gypsy Sounds. So now you've kind of heard like a whole range of her styles and my production with her music and songwriting. Next, we're going to tune into the single that's going to be dropping soon. It's called Weakness, and this song really defines the album. This was one of the strongest records from the gate that we had demoed. We poured over the demos. I mean, everybody loved the song from the jump. We brought in her drummer, we brought in studio musicians, we brought in different members of her band. I played some instruments, she played some instruments. This was a song that we kept layering, kept working on until everybody was satisfied with the arrangement. It really was produced by committee. Thank you to DJ Circuit Breaker and Dice Raw of Rawlife Records for their constant help in A&Ring the records that I produce. This record, Weakness, would not have been possible without them, and their influence and their help in the studio was paramount to Gina and I making this second single for Gina's album very special. So here you are. It's called Weakness from Gina Zo, Rawlife Records, on the Crates Talk podcast.
Moons are the coyote's weakness, and my weakness was always you. Guitars play to the feeling, and here's to you. You're a devil with your back to the war. You're the fire and the flames that nobody saw. And you were my angel when angels wouldn't call. You were my human, you were my war. So I said, hey, don't fall for the stars. Coyotes crumble to break for my heart. They've been known to crash the walls down. You are my weakness, you are my war. You're the only one who could save you from yourself. You're the only one who could save you from Hey, don't fall for this stuff. Coyotes crumble to break for my heart. They've been known to crash the walls down. You are my weakness, you are my war. I say, hey, don't fall for the stars. Coyotes crumble to break for my heart. They've been known to crash the walls down. You are my weakness, you are my war. You are my weakness, you are my
We're back on the Crates Talk podcast, and at this point, her album was basically done, and we were kind of having some fun and just demoing just some new records. And there was a song that her band was playing in shows, and as a producer, you know, it's like, you know, a hit when you hear one. And was like that scene in that movie, once again with Mark Ruffalo, where like I heard the song and I was like, wow, if only we did this, sped it up, put this there, put this guitar part here, broke the beat down there, whoop-de-woo. It's just like I knew it was going to be a hit. And we started working on the record, and I made it a priority. Originally, it was going to be the first single and probably first song from her second album. But once everybody heard it, that wasn't the case anymore. It was rushed into mixing and mastering and was included the last minute for this album. Literally, I was mixing the song probably up until a week before the album came out. We're all so very happy with it. For Record Store Day coming up, I really wanted to do something special. Like, really wanted to put out a vinyl release single of this song. It's called Pouring Water. So hit me up at Digital Crates on all social media and let me know what you think. Is this song something that you vinyl fans would buy if we put out a limited release? Maybe 40 or 50 copies, personalized autograph by Gina, all that. So anyway, let me know. Vinyl Record Store Day is coming up. Support your local record stores. Support your local musicians. Support your local producers. The best thing about working with an artist like Gina that has a band is they're on the indie circuit. They're constantly doing shows. Shout out to all the promoters that have been booking them. Working on a summer tour for her, which is going to be incredible. So this is one of those songs that will probably kick off all the shows and be the opening song. So you better learn the lyrics now. Crates Talk Podcast. You're tuned in. This is Gina Zo, Pouring Water.
Take me to the river, take me to the water. Come on, little darling, hold your breath a little longer. Drowning in the passions of your mind, pull me beneath my riptide. Water will escape your wild and mind. Breathe me in, breathe me out, every night, every night. Do you feel like you're alone when you're waist deep in the water? Pouring
Crates Talk podcast. Only 2 more songs to go from Gina Zo. You just heard Pouring Water, which is going to be the 3rd single, and was the last song recorded for the album. I'm really excited about that song, Pouring Water. We're looking into doing a really cool music video treatment for that as well, so stay tuned. You can check out her video for Lost right now online, directed by Rawlife. He's also from Philly, great visual director. Stay tuned, please, for more videos from Gina Zo. I think you guys are really going to enjoy some of the creative ideas that we have. This next song was kind of like the song Fantasy, where I already had the music and she composed the lyrics and demoed it. We came back to it. It was maybe 7-8 months later. We came back to the song. Neither of us had even listened to it. It was just in the demo folder. And when we listened to the demo, we knew immediately we had to go back in, tune up some of the lyrics, tighten up the beat a little bit. I tightened up the drums. That was really important. Tighten up the drums. She tightened up the lyrics a little bit. She re-recorded it, I swear, in 1 take at this little studio down in Wilmington that we were recording at in December. And this song, Set Me Free, is really cool. Again, it's kind of a young songwriter, simple song, but it's metaphoric. And it shows that she has some deep knowledge and some perspective, and her new songs especially showcase that. So check us out. This is Set Me Free, produced by myself, Digital Crates, for Rawlife Records. You're tuned in the Crates Talk podcast, thedigitalcrates.com/Crates Talk. Yeah.
Begging you to come on over.
thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Crates Talk podcast. You can catch me on all social media at Digital Crates, DIGITALCRATES, or on the web, thedigitalcrates.com. You can check us out on YouTube, Crates Talk Podcast. It's free. Working on getting everything up on Apple Music pretty soon, but for now we're just streaming from my website and from YouTube. Thank y'all so much for tuning in the last few weeks. It's been thousands of views. I'm just really humbled and amazed by the response by this podcast. Shouts out to everybody that helped me to put it together, the idea, the concept, everything. Thank you to Gina Zo. You just tuned in and listened to her entire album from Rawlife Records. It's called My Weakness. It's available for sale now. It's got 9 songs. It's like $9. It's a great deal. It's lifetime music. It's very real. It's very organic. It's about love. It's about understanding. It's about the world. It's about life in general. And it's just, I think there's really something for everybody on the album. A lyric you can relate to, or a beat that you could dance to, even as simple as that. It's a little bit of something for everybody on there. I want to thank everybody that's been streaming, purchasing, downloading, reposting, etc. Man, the love for this project has been so great so far. Looking forward to giving y'all so much more videos, shows, and new music. This is the last song. It was A&R'd by DJ Circuit Breaker. It's called Headstrong. You're listening to Gina Zo from Rawlife Records. This is the Crates Talk podcast.
Black skies rolling through this place. It's hard to see the view. The eyes of a lover that are too wrong to be true. I drank dirty water to feel you in my bones. I fell down towers just to break through to you. I'm not gonna be a queen of kings. I will smile when you smile to feel your head strong. Bring me your head on my silver spiral, so I can stare into those eyes of your heart. Buy me a sword so I can kill all the past lies. I'm not gonna be a queen of kings. I will smile when you smile to feel your head Our smile